Module 5, Writing High Converting Messages. The goals for this module are twofold. The first is to talk about the importance of a value proposition, and the second is to help you write ads faster and easier using frameworks and templates. This also brings us to the final step in creating a really high converting multi-touchpoint ad campaign. So if there's one thing that I hope you take away from this course, just one thing, let it be this. Your value proposition is the biggest lever, the biggest opportunity, and the biggest point of failure in any given ad. A high converting ad generally has a phenomenal value proposition, and an ad that just doesn't convert usually just doesn't have a value proposition to support it. If you've never heard of the term value proposition, in a nutshell, it's the primary benefit that describes what your user, your prospect, your target market, your ideal customer will get if they engage with your product or service. It's the what's in it for them factor. And a really great company will have a value proposition at the company level. It'll have value propositions for each product or service. And great advertisers will be using great value propositions in every single ad. Nailing your value proposition is more than just a nice to have. It has measurable results. It will increase your chances of creating high converting ads on your first try. So no more testing expensive variations. You'll be testing insights and value propositions, and it gets you to success much faster and much cheaper. It will increase your click-through rates because more people will see your ad, understand why it's beneficial for them, and as a result click through. It will increase your relevance scores. Your relevance scores are a score that Facebook gives you that takes into account all the positive and negative sentiment that's happening, whether users are actually taking action on that ad and based on the objective you set up. And if you can get really good relevance scores and lots of engagement on your ad, your cost to run that ad goes down. So thank you, keep money in your pocket. And ultimately, if you can do all of these things, you're decreasing your cost per action. So for every lead that you're getting, for every registration that you're getting, and ultimately it will drive down your cost to acquire that customer in every single sale. And here's the reason why it's so important. Because people don't want your products or services. They just don't want them. What they want instead is the change, the benefit, or the transformation that they're going to offer. And a value proposition communicates that exact thing, that what's in it for me factor, in 3 seconds or less. So let's look at a real-world example of how a value proposition can have huge impact on your ability to convert. And if you want to dive deep into this, search value proposition case studies and you'll see 1,000,001 different tests that support the idea that a stellar value proposition is money in the bank. So for this one example, I grabbed this from Conversion Sciences. This is a company called Groove, and you can see that this was their control, their homepage, the variation that they started with. And the headline is SaaS and e-commerce customer support. So it's getting the job done. It's got a 2.3% conversion rate. People land on the website and they know what Groove does or what it is. It's a SaaS and e-commerce customer support option for them. After testing this, they went ahead and did some customer research. So whenever anyone signed up for the platform, they asked, what brought you here? Why are you here? They pulled the language of their customer, figured out what the key benefit was, and changed the homepage to reflect that key benefit. And now the headline is, everything you need to deliver awesome, personal support to every customer. Assign support emails to the right people, feel confident that customers are being followed up with, and always know what's going on. This change in value proposition resulted in a conversion rate of 4.3%, which is phenomenal. So again, if you love this kind of thing, Google value proposition case studies and you'll see so many different examples of how a value prop can really tangibly change your results. You now, though, are at an advantage because you know that a value proposition is everything, and so you'll be starting by writing your ads with phenomenal value propositions instead of testing random things and then wondering why one does and doesn't convert. Now you know. It's generally the value proposition that helps you get that conversion lift. When it comes to your ads, more often than not, your headline is going to be where you put your value proposition. I like to call it the value proposition holder. Note that this is a generic ad, so fig tart with almonds isn't a great value proposition. It's just an example of an ad. If you don't have a headline because you're running an Instagram ad or a story ad, you still want to think about ways that you can communicate your value proposition. And we'll go over examples of how to do that in the absence of a headline. But whenever you do have a headline, use it and test it with your value propositions, and you will be shocked at how quickly that one tweak will drop your costs, increase your click-through rates, and overall make your clients super happy. So let's talk about let's go through some examples, because I think that's the easiest way to kind of learn this stuff, especially if you've never sort of seen a value proposition before and you're still kind of wrapping your mind around what they are and how to spot a strong one. So this first example is a strong value proposition, and we've seen this in some of our other modules. So it's the product itself has a really strong value prop. They're heels that you can wear every day. And the headline reflects it. A heel you can actually wear all damn day. Okay. Bing! That is an awesome value proposition. That is a high converting ad. Sometimes, though, the same product from the same company can have an ad promoting it that buries the value proposition. So in this example, the day heel, if I don't know what a day heel is, if I haven't already interacted with this website, if I'm not familiar with Everlane and their products and services, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's making me work too hard to pay attention. So they've buried the value proposition in this ad. What I would even do is say sneaker comfort with the polish of a heel and pop that down in the headline or the value proposition holder. So you can see how even the same company with the same products will sometimes bury their own value propositions. Let's look at some more examples. This is a weak value proposition. Denim that presses all the right buttons. It's like, okay, how is that different from any other denim ad that I'm going to see as I'm scrolling my newsfeed compared to this one, which is strong but buried. So this is the cheeky straight jean. It's, again, making me work a little bit too hard to understand why I should care about these particular pair of jeans that really look like jeans that I might buy anywhere. But up here, engineered for the perfect rear fit, the jean that makes every butt look its best. That is an awesome value proposition, and if you dropped that down into the headline, this ad would convert even better than it is already. So you can see how all of a sudden, and oftentimes if you're looking at a client's ad account because they've asked you to do an audit or you're comparing copy that they've written before, sometimes we inadvertently bury the lead, or we inadvertently bury the value proposition. We kind of know what it is, but we don't know the importance of putting it in the headline. And so we skip that part, and then we wonder why something converts and other things don't, or something converts better than something else. Okay, so in this next video, we're gonna play a little game, because I love me some games. We're going to do some value proposition rehabbing with some real life ads so that you can see how you might go about auditing an ad that's already existing, or paying attention to the ads as you scroll your own news feed and starting to think about how you would tweak them so that when it comes time for you to write copy, this is easy for you. Okay, I'll see you in